anything else.
I actually
Granted, I wasn't
didn't
alive back then.
watch Akira until after Naruto finished.
Oh, really? That late?
Yeah, because I was like, man, I don't watch old stuff. I don't watch that stuff. If it came out before me, then I don't watch it.
If it came out before I came out.
If it came out before I did, then I don't watch it. But
I didn't even
it was
think
like,
about like your
it was like
date
the
of birth
more
is
I
like your
got,
release date.
the more I got invested or like deep into like the anime sphere, the more people were talking about Akira, and I was like, okay, I feel like I just should know about it. So then I was like, I have to go back and I gotta watch it. So I had to go back and I had to go, I had to watch it, but I was like, I'm so late to the part.
One. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boys, and we are back with the 45th episode of the DNAnime podcast. Hopefully, you guys are having a splendiferous weekend. It is I, Beautiful Crow, with my co-host Vic Seal, and we're here to talk about some anime today. Hopefully, you guys are having a good one, and you guys are excited. I feel like right now, I don't know what it is, but I just feel it. I can feel like the goosebumps on my skin. It feels like a good time to be an anime fan, mostly because Daima going crazy right now. Daima's going crazy. Everybody been sleeping on Daima. Now Daima's the heat of the anime world. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying that as well if you've been keeping up with Daima. But Vix, how are you doing today as you pet your kitty?
I'm doing good. I have not followed up Daima at all. I didn't even know it was a thing until it was like 3 or 4 episodes released, and then like last week you guys told me about the Super Saiyan 4 version, and that was a form. That was definitely a form.
What do you mean? That was sick, dude.
They're just so like blocky. They just gotta grow up. Okay,
Well, I agree. They do need to grow up, but see it in action. The animation is beautiful.
I have actually seen a shockingly small amount of clips for it being a Dragon Ball title. I can't believe how little I've seen of it.
Dude, you want to know what's crazy? People have been like shitting on Daima because it's been, kind of like GT, kind of like original Dragon Ball. It's been like this adventure through the demon realm. So there's not a lot of fights, or there are some fights, but there's not a lot of fights. There's not a lot of transformation. It's in the later half of the show. So most Dragon Head fans or Dragon Ball Z fans are meatheads, and there's like, they're kids now. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, but kid Goku beat Goku. I didn't think so.
Yeah, so just like a lot of people have been sleeping on Daima and like shitting on it, be like, because I've been seeing it a lot. Like,
the like
Dragon Ball.
Most standard take that I've heard is like one that is just strictly incorrect. Where like I hear very little. Like I said, a shockingly small amount. But from what I have heard, and I know this is wrong, so don't come at me. Don't come at the messenger. I've heard that Daima's animation was awful.
Oh, that is
I heard so many
BS.
people like, well, I won't say so many people because like I said, very little, but the very few people who I did hear talk about it were just like, no, the animation is not that good. It's not very good. Daima got to pick it up. Their animation is weird. Maybe their like form is weird. Like SS4 is like, it is a little weird because they're kids, but like aside from that, like it looked fine.
Vix, can I get on the soapbox real quick?
All right, stand up.
All right, so if I do, I will be out of frame. But I'm gonna be honest. I don't like the anime community as a collective, right? That's why I know me and you. We talk about that.
Not
a lot
you guys.
on the
If you guys
podcast.
are here at the DNAnime podcast, we're not talking about you. You guys are exceptions. We ain't talking about you.
Exceptions to the rules. But like anime fans who are not intellectual, don't know anything about the business about animation or anything like that, or understand storytelling, will say things like that because they can't articulate their actual feelings. What they say is,
like, okay, but what do you actually hate about it?
So they come up with BS. So it's like they sit up there and they're just like, oh, I don't like that Goku's a kid. I wanted it to be Dragon Ball Super, the continuation or whatever. But they can't articulate that with well-reasoned points. So instead, they're just like, oh, animation bad. And no, not fight. Baby, me no like. And I'm just like, no, you can say what you dislike about it and be genuine. You don't have to like Daima. If you don't like Daima, that's fine. But to sit up there and bold-faced lie is the thing about the anime community I don't like. They will say that shows like Fullmetal Alchemist is overrated. I don't get it. Frierin's overrated. I don't get it. It's bad. I was like, no.
A lot of the time, the overrated takes are very confusing because it's like they always talk about shows that are like really good, and it's like they're overrated, and it's like, well, Why are they overrated? Because everybody talks about them. Well, why do you think everybody talks about them? Because they're good. Like,
because they're good shows.
people want to just like talk about it. Because like, and I was so annoyed. I'm so annoyed by people calling Demon Slayer overrated. Shut up. It's fine.
Please shut
up.
Demon Slayer is awesome, dude. Oh, it's care about the animation. Nobody would care about the. No,
I read the manga, and you seen that manga? You seen the art in that manga? That shit look like booty cheeks.
But no, it's like people don't understand anything, and they're just like, all I can do is just hate on stuff because they think that it makes them interesting. And it makes them unique. Oh, like, oh, I dislike the thing that everybody likes. Like, no, man, that makes you a loser. If you go out of your way to just crap on stuff and not be able to articulate what you mean, like, again, it's totally fine. If you don't like Fullmetal Alchemist, if you don't like Fearin, if you don't like whatever, that's fine.
Even if they were to respond with, "I'm not sure what it is that I don't like. Something's just wrong," and I'm like, you know what, that's fine. But if they're just like, "Hey, this thing that's clearly not bad is bad," and then I'm like, okay, well. Now you just saying stuff.
It angers me because I'm just like, I'm not fucking stupid. I'm not stupid. I got eyes. I watched Daima. You're lying to yourself if you're going to say the animation is bad, because the animation in that show is phenomenal. The fights look amazing. The animation, even when they're just traveling around, looks crisp. And when you do get those hype transformation moments, you do get those hype fights. Daima is leagues above. Like, literally the current fight in the last 2 episodes have been movie quality. It looks like the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. That's how good it is.
Which I also didn't see.
You cannot hate on Daima. Yeah, you cannot hate Daima for his animation. If you don't like them becoming kids and being depowered, if you don't like them going through the demon rail and all the lore, that's fine. But I think that's literally because a lot of the Dragon Ball community are literal idiots and they can't read, so they're just like, "What?
It's okay. They're just kids. You can't hate on them."
Yeah, like
you can't hate them for being children.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Daima is good. Is it perfect? No. If you don't like the adventure aspect, that's fine. But you know it's Dragon Ball. You know you're going to get the stuff that you want. You're going to get the beam clashes. You're going to get the transformations. You're going to get the big fights. Just wait, and it'll be a good payoff. If they dropped all this stuff in the first 2 episodes, you'd be like, oh, they busted already. You know, I don't. What else is there to look forward to in the show? You know what I mean? Like, it looks incredible. And if that means that we're going to be getting that, again, this is pie in the sky. But if we get that kind of animation, that love and care for whatever they do, continuing on from Daima, because obviously Daima is almost done. The last 2 episodes will be coming out shortly. But if we get Super back and they start the moral arc and they have that kind of animation, if I see anybody complaining about this stuff, I'm taking away your Z card, man. You do not deserve to be a Dragon Ball fan, because Daima looks amazing. And we're finally getting the adaptation that we deserve as Dragon Ball fans, because Super was not it for the longest time. Watching the revival of Frieza and Battle of Gods in the anime form was terrible. Those fights were garbage. So getting Daima and seeing people crap on it, it's just like, yo, it's literally the whole meme of like, this is the greed they talk about in the Bible. Like, we're getting an amazing show that's short, sweet, and well animated, and you guys are like, we deserve more. No, no.
You're not gonna get more out of Dragon Ball. That's not what this is about. You gotta understand that not everything is gonna be perfect at everything. You go to certain things for certain things. You go for Dragon Ball because they have the fast, random ass fights that are just people beating each other up. Beam clashes are cool. High speed characters are funny or doofy or whatever. That's why you go to Dragon Ball. You don't go because like they have the world's greatest storytelling. Like, yeah. Ooh, yeah. he rode on a cloud and then they decided that they could fly. Nice.
Yeah, like, again, the Daima lore stuff has been interesting. Is it a lot of it? Yes. Is there a lot of traveling stuff like that? Yes. Is it the best written story ever? No.
That's not why I'm here.
Yeah, that's not what I'm here. I paid a mission to see Goku turn into a little monkey kid. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hyped for. And that's why when
in February.
Hey, I was going to cosplay that in the first convention. No, I'm joking, please. But anyway, so I think that all of that led up to this moment. And while it was a really goofy transformation, how it happens, it looks cool. I'm so glad as a Dragon Ball fan, because like I always say, Super Saiyan 4 is my favorite transformation. It's better than Super Saiyan God. It's better than Super.
Mine too. I really like at least them as the adults in GT.
Yeah.
It's the coolest one. It's the one that makes the most sense. It's the coolest one.
Yep.
The fact that they didn't follow that route originally is wild.
Yeah, It's better than God. It's better than Blue. And I will say this right now, hot take of the day, Super Saiyan 4 is better than Ultra Instinct to me. I genuinely think the Super Saiyan 4 is the best Saiyan transformation, period. Like, I love GT. GT is not perfect. There's a lot of boring stuff in GT that I didn't enjoy. But Super Saiyan 4 in the big fights against Baby, against Super 17, and Omega Shenron, and Nova Shenron, awesome, super duper cool. And I will 100% will die on this hill. Super Saiyan 4 is the best Dragon Ball transformation, period.
That's what they're doing with Daima. They're trying to bring it back. They're like, all right, how do we retcon this in here?
Daima is canon.
How do we put this in?
Hopefully. But yeah, they just slammed it in. I'm happy. It's different. Obviously not 1-to-1. He doesn't have the cool, yellow pants, and his hair isn't black, it's red. But I'm happy that Super Saiyan 4 is back. Okay, this is my Dragon Ball thing, right? Current day is Super. They're doing this thing with the characters where they're all getting their own transformations. So instead of it being like, oh, you're saying you get 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and they keep going up in numbers, you got Goku with Ultra Instinct, Vegeta with Ultra Ego, you got Gohan with Gohan Beast, you have Piccolo with Orange Piccolo, and I want Broly to have this form. I think Broly should get Super Saiyan 4. Broly should perfect this form, because his whole thing in the Dragon Ball Super movie is that they canonize his, Broly's whole thing is like the Incredible Hulk, right? He gets stronger as he gets more angry. They canonize it in the Super Broly movie that he's pulling the times, because you know how most transformations work as a multiplier. They said that his multiplier is the multiplier that you get from going into the Ozaru form, the Great Ape form, but he's doing it in his human form. So that's why his power just keeps going up, because it just keeps multiplying the strength. So I was like, since they said that he's getting his power up from his monkey form but staying normal and doing the legendary Super Saiyan thing, make him turn into a monkey and be Super Saiyan 4. And he'll be the condensed powered version of Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah, but what if I want everybody to have that one? Like, that's a cool one.
Well, if he learns it, that means everybody can get it. But that's what I'm saying. It should be his unique thing until everybody learns it. And everybody does their own unique path. I think Broly should get that.
Time for everybody to learn everybody else's transformations.
Yeah, I mean, it does happen. I mean, if you haven't seen it in Daima, spoiler alert, but Vegeta goes Super Saiyan 3 for the first time in canon in Daima.
I mean, Super Saiyan 3 is kind of whatever. That was like around. It's like the standard track. So it's like Super Saiyan 2, 3, and then it like forks off, and then it's like 4 and
Beast and
it's like 4 Beast God. I guess not Orange Piccolo, because you couldn't have Orange Goku.
No, yeah, that's a whole Namekian thing. Do you know how he got Orange Piccolo? Did you watch the superhero movie?
Mm-mm. I haven't seen anything since Z ended.
Dude, you want to know what's so funny to me? So, spoiler alert for Dragon Ball Superhero. He literally goes to Shenron. He's like, hey, Shenron, what's up? And he's like, hey, what's up, Piccolo? And then they just like, I need more strength. And he's just like, I got you. And he just gives him a power boost. And
there's that top tier storytelling right there.
Dude, I was just like, what? And then literally, so he gets like I call it Cocoa Butter Piccolo, where he how Piccolo, he has like the little lines on his arm. He doesn't have them in the super form. He's like a weird, dull greenish color. And then at the end of the movie, he's just like, I need more strength. And he's like, fighting and whatever. He's like trying to power up to get stronger. And then he getting his butt whooped, and he turns into Orange Piccolo. And they reference what Shenron said. He's just like, I just wanted to give you a little bit extra. And he transformed to Orange Piccolo. And it's so sick. I don't care that it's an ass pull, dude. I don't care that Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo are an ass pull. It's so sick. I love it. It's so cool. It's so cool, Vix. I'm telling you. Gohan does a DDT to Gamma 1 is so sick. I don't care how they get there. I just want to see the transformations. I want to see the fights. I want to have fun. That's what Dragon Ball is about. It's the journey. It's the fights. It's the transformation. It's the fun. And Daima, I honestly, okay, this is my last thing. I'll get off the soapbox. But this is the last thing I'm going to say about Daima. Daima is the final work from Akira Toriyama. He passed away not too long ago. So I take it personally when people are shitting on Daima, because I'm just like, it's the last thing. This man made my motherfucking childhood. I wouldn't be an anime fan without Dragon Ball Z.
Just let it happen. Just let him have it.
It's the last thing that he ever worked on, outside of the final manga panel where he drew Gohan and Goku leaving, or whatever. Or it was Piccolo saying bye. That was the last thing that Akira Toriyama drew, and the last project that he worked on was Daima. If Daima's not your cup of tea because they didn't just keep going forward and progressing the story, you can't just enjoy this as its own separate little side story, and you want to shit on it, think you're disrespecting the man. Has inspired so many people to become anime fans. Have inspired so many mangakas to pick up the pen and try to make their own shonen journey. So many mangaka like like Kishimoto, like My Hero, what's his name? Horikoshi. Like all these guys credit Toriyama. He is the grandfather of shonen. Put some respect on this man's name. And the fact that everybody was crapping on Daima, but then when they got the canonization of Super Saiyan 4, essentially, everybody switched up. I find it to be embarrassing. Be better. Be better. This is this man's last work. His last like living will and testament on his mark on the anime community. And you guys gonna treat it like that? Grow up. But that's all I got to say about Daima. I think Daima's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's short and sweet, and the animation is like amazing. Enjoy it, watch it, get hyped for that moment because the fights are so cool at the end. And we still got a couple more episodes left, and I'm so excited to finish it up. But yeah, that's my beautiful crow soapbox. As an anime fan, I just want to hold people to a higher standard, man. We should be doing better.
Everybody leave some claps for Crow while he gets down off the soapbox. Good job.
I gotta do the all right, I shouldn't be doing visual bits on the podcast, but anyway.
But that actually brings up a funny, or not really funny, but like an interesting thing that I saw as a video like recently is like, who is the grandfather of anime? And because you called Toriyama the grandfather of shonen, so who's the grandfather of anime? And for the longest time, I was like, oh, bro, it's the dude who made Akira. I was like, of course, that makes the most sense. And then they like kept going farther and farther back, and I was like, I forgot about these. And they landed on the number one most likely godfather or grandfather of anime was probably the guy who made Astro Boy.
That's exactly what I looked up. It's got to be Osamu Tezuka. He is the grandfather of anime. Astro Boy is so old, dude.
Yeah, I was like, because Akira was like before even I was like watching anime, and that was like back before it was any degree of relevant. So Akira was already like grandfather, and like I knew about Astro Boy, but in my mind, I had it assigned essentially to like cartoon and not anime.
Because okay, so I was going to ask, did you watch like Fox Kids or WB Kids, that like the 2003 like Redux Astro Boy?
I think so. I think I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, that's how I found out about Astro Boy, and I was really enjoying it. And I was like, oh, this is fun or whatever. But then I was like, oh, wait, Astro Boy's been around for how long? It's from the 60s or whatever?
Yeah, but can Astro Boy beat Goku?
Oh, my God. Don't give me the power scaling. Don't give me the power scaling. But yeah, Astro Boy came out in 1963. So I would probably say that
Astro Boy older than my parents.
I would think Tezuka is the grandfather of anime. Like, the Astro Boy has been around for so long, dude, and it's had multiple anime adaptations. And I can't really think of anything. I mean, obviously, there's other stuff. When did Kimba and the Lion come out? That was another ancient one. But like, I would say, unless somebody else, you guys can let us know in the comments below. Let us know who you think the grandfather of anime is. But I would 100% agree that it's the creator of Astro Boy.
I think I would probably have to go to the same route because I like I said, I originally like had it set in my mind that it was Akira until they mentioned that Astro Boy existed, and I was like, oh, Dave, you got me. You probably right. Yeah, I can't really refute that one. He first. Everybody knows about Astro Boy.
Yeah, I feel like Akira is important in animation, like bringing anime over to the West, because when you're a kid and you watch Pokemon, that feels like a cartoon. You watch Dragon Ball Z, it's like, oh, high action cartoon. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really differentiate that. When you watch Akira, you're like, there's nothing like that in American animation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Disney ain't doing Akira.
Yeah, you're not watching Disney watching people get splattered on the walls. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah, getting turned to meat mush. Like, that's not happening. So when you were a kid and you watch Ninja Scroll and Akira, you're just like, oh, this is what anime can do. This is what anime could be. And it ain't nothing like American animation. You know what I mean? So no, I think Akira is very important. I watched Akira when I was a youth, probably before I should have. So I think it's very important. But I would 100% say that Astro Boy, that's like the OG. I can't think of anything else.
I actually didn't watch Akira until after Naruto finished.
Oh, really? That late?
Yeah, because I was like, man, I don't watch old stuff. I don't watch that stuff. If it came out before me, then I don't watch it.
If it came out before I came out.
If it came out before I did, then I don't watch it. But
I didn't even
it
think
was
about
like,
like your
it was
date
like
of
the
birth
more
is
I
like your
got,
release date.
the more I got invested or like deep into like the anime sphere, the more people were talking about Akira, and I was like, okay, I feel like I just should know about it. So then I was like, I have to go back and I gotta watch it. So I had to go back and I had to go. I had to watch it, but I was like, I'm so late to the party. And so I was surprised. It held up really well in the test of time. Like, I didn't see it, like I said, until after Naruto, and it's good. Like, it's still really good. Like, you can definitely tell that it was like old, but it's like clean animation. It's really good especially for it being as old as it is. But
Did you have like a brain blast when you saw the Akira slide for real for the first time and just
dude,
how it's
as
referencing
going
so much
through
stuff?
Akira, every time something happened, I was like, oh yep, so that's where that came from. Oh yep, I know that one. So there was like Akira slide, there was like the gravel rising when someone powers up. There's the like pressure when he uses his power. I was like, all this shit came from right here. It came from right here.
Dude.
This is the gold mine of anime right here.
Dude, Akira is so sick.
It was like Astro Boy,
awesome.
Astro Boy inspired Akira, and then Akira was like, okay, what if we did all the things? And then every anime was like, okay, but what if I did that one thing really good? And so then it just like branches out, and then imagination is limitless. So now we have an unending amount of both good and bad anime. We got shovelware out here, and somebody mentioned recently, I don't even remember who we were talking to, but they mentioned there was just like a sudden, like an astronomical number of just like trash anime to wade through. And I was like, yes, I suppose. Like, yeah, there's probably a lot that come out that are not super great. I don't think it's particularly difficult to like weed through them. Usually, even by like the first minute or something, you're like, oh, this is trash. You could tell.
If their title is a country mile long, I'm just like, all right, I'm done.
Actually, if their title is a country mile long, it's probably good. But like, there has been, I go through my list and I drop a couple every now and then. And I feel like if they drop below like a 3 out of 5 or something, then I'm usually like, probably not for me. And then I just drop it, which is pretty rare because I very easily sunken into the sunken cost fallacy where I'm just like, oh damn, I watched 10 minutes of this, I'm in it. I can't let this one go. I gotta keep watching, and then I'll get to like 9 episodes and I'll be like, this is awful. I can't keep watching this. Like, it has to be physically painful for me to keep watching it for me to drop it. I'm pretty sure my drop list is like really short.
Why you look that up? Yeah, I mean, obviously I talk about it all the time. I don't have a lot of time to watch it. Oh,
barely, I'm dropping a shitload of stuff.
You liar!
Okay, look. Okay, so to be fair, this is over the course of like 25 years. I got 90 shows that I've dropped. All right.
All right, name one of them real quick.
Oh, here's one that's gonna piss off somebody. Somebody's gonna get pissed off. I don't remember who talks about it all the time, but somebody's gonna get pissed off by this one. Demon Lord Retry. Apparently, I dropped.
Okay, I was about to say, I was waiting for it. I was like, it was me. I'm angry, but I never read or watched it. I don't know what that is.
Let's see. Some of the more common ones. There was one that I really wanted to like called Chaos Dragon, and something just was like not sitting.
Not clicking with you.
And then the first one, this one came out, and I was like, it can't be as bad as this title suggests. And I was like, I need to see what it is. And it was worse than the title suggests.
No.
The title was A Sister Is All You Need. And I was like,
oh my God. I remember hearing that come out.
Okay. I was like, it cannot be that bad. And the first episode, I literally dropped it on one episode. I was like, okay, yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to do this one.
Oh, wait. Okay, I didn't watch it. Well, please give us a synopsis. Why? What was going on? What made you drop it?
First episode, I mean, from what I can remember, he like all he cared about was his little sister. And like, and he was like, we talk about like anime doing weird shit. That anime is weird shit. That's all it is. From what I saw, it was uncomfortably weird. And that's probably why I drop a lot of these, is because they hit like an uncomfortable level of weird. If you've ever seen Assassin's Pride, I did actually finish that one, but I did it angrily because the concept of it was really good. And it was like, this guy, he was like an assassin. He was training this like noble girl who was kind of like an outcast amongst her friends, and so he was training her to use her abilities better. And then at some fucking point, they just like start hitting on each other, and I'm like, wait, that was a little weird. What was that? And then they just like, and like he just starts getting even more weird, and I'm like, what are you doing? Stop! What is happening? And like,
I think I remember this show now.
He is a full-blown adult. He is like 27 and she is like 13. And I'm like, what is going on in this show? And I was so mad about how they went, because they didn't really hit that mark until like 6 episodes in, and then they hit something, and I was like, did he just do that? I was like, that's a little weird. It's like, I'm gonna let that one, I'm gonna let it go, but I'll remember this. And then like every episode, like he kept getting closer and closer, and like I don't know, he just kept getting weirder and weirder. At some point, I think towards the end, he ends up doing like the knight's loyalty knee, where he just like kneels down and like offers his loyalty. And I'm like, you're fucking weird, dude. Why? She's just a kid. What are you doing?
Yeah, no. I love anime. I love anime, but god damn it, man. Why do y'all got to do that, man?
Some of these I don't even remember. What is this one? Magi Mojo Rurumo? What is that?
You just making up words now. You just made this man Vic speaking in tongues. We got to do exorcism. Hey, I don't have. I need to start doing that, because what website do you use again? I
use Anime Planet.
Okay, I want to do that because I think it's really cool. Because when I was younger, I used to watch a metric crap ton of anime, right? And I'd always be like, dude, I've watched over this many anime, but I never really like kept a list. So I think it would be cool to be able to look back and be like, oh yeah, I remember watching this, I remember watching that, and kind of like having this whole chronicle of my anime journey.
Yeah, so Anime Planet does have like a track on the amount of time spent on anime. So like you can record when you watch an episode. It'll like you can do 1 to however many episodes, and then if you rewatch it, you can do how many times you rewatched it. I have watched 13,271 episodes, which is equated to 4 or 7 months of watch time.
Oh my god, you wasted so much time.
That doesn't count manga. They do have manga tracking on here, but they have every manga, and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna find my manga in this that I like don't remember. There's no way. Yeah, so I just stopped. I got like insane. 6. I like recorded like 6 to 10 of them, and then I was like, you know what? Never mind. It's impossible. I have fucking Ranking of Kings on here as one of my dropped. Hey, smile. It's funny.
Okay, so Vix, I want to ask you a question. Now that we're talking about dropped anime in general, and I'm gonna just change the subject before I strangle you through this Discord call. How do you feel about the 3-episode rule? Because I feel like that was kind of like not really an unspoken rule, because people talked about it all the time, especially in around the time frame when I was younger and we were going to anime convention. Everybody always be like, oh yeah, I just gave this episode 3 episodes, but it's not good. So I had to drop it.
I feel like 3 episodes is like a good marker for I'm not sure. But like if you watch the first one, if you watch the first episode and you're like, man, this sucks, just drop it. True. You can tell in the first episode if there is going to be something worth your time, and then you can give it to 3-episode rule. Sometimes like I've sunk cost fallacy. I just go as far as I can take it, and then I'm just like, all right, that's the end of it. I'll be like dropped episode 9 or something. Like this one, Ranking of Kings got dropped at episode 15.
Well, no, that's sunk cost fallacy talking. I was like, you might as well finish it. At that point, it's only 24 episodes. I
mean, I didn't hate it. I think the thing that made me drop it the most is just that I was like bored, and I didn't understand the like system going on in the world. So, because like the stepmom is just like the biggest hinge on what the fuck ever. Like, does everybody have magic? I know we've been over this on the podcast before, but still, does everybody have magic? Why does she have healing magic? How much magic does she have? Does Bochi have magic? Bochi's gotta have magic because he like is useless until he's suddenly a god. Like, yeah, a god. He's not like actually a god, but like, you know, he's just extremely skillful. And it's like, yeah, I get it. He gets the like insane precision of the stabby stabs, but it's like that's not enough. That's not enough. You're like 6. How are you defeating like hellhounds and stuff? I don't hate it. I don't hate anybody who did like it, and I do see why they like it. I just put it down, put your hand down. But it's just like I don't know. I just didn't vibe with it. I tried. I went 15 episodes and I was just waiting to vibe with something because I was like the whole time I was waiting for Bocchi to like get his thing that was gonna make him relevant. Because I liked Bocchi like as a character, and I like his little shadow dude. I don't remember his name.
Kage. Which is just shadow in Japanese. Yeah. That's
what I thought. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't just shadow, but straightforward. But I liked them, but I didn't understand how the magic system functioned, and it was bugging me the whole time. And
they don't really go into that kind of stuff. Like, they don't do a lot of world building. It's mostly just like we're telling a story, you just along for the ride. It's just like a little storybook, you know what I mean? So I get that from that perspective. Because they don't really like go into any of that stuff. Things just kind of happen.
And it was like I think I was just expecting something different than what it was providing. Like I was expecting the world building because it was shown to me. Like they showed me the magic, and they showed me that there was a past on some of these people, and then it was like, well, what if we just didn't worry about that? And then they just went off into Bocchi's little thing, and I'm like, cool, Bocchi's little thing is cool. Will they come back to it? One of Bocchi's stepmom's like bodyguards, he was cool. I don't remember his name, but the dude who was just like buff, he was just laying it out on people. I was like, yo, that's pretty sick. I'm down for that.
He was so sick. He was the best guy, dude. He was the best. I don't know. I really enjoyed the show. I had so much fun. The animation is amazing. Is animated by Mappa. I think they passed it off like later on in the season. So animation, the fights, stuff like that, all slick and very, very cool. But kind of like wrapping it back to what we were talking about earlier with Dragon Ball Daima, that is an opinion I can respect. You told me why you didn't like it. I understand where you're coming from. But if you came to me and said, I didn't like Raven
Hey man, that show looked like garbage.
But no, like I really enjoyed Ring of the Kings, man. But you got to be honest. Like not everything's gonna be everybody's cup of tea. You know what I mean? There's things that you like that I don't like. There's things that I like that you don't like. But we should be able to have these.
That's impossible. My opinion is always correct. You have to like what I like. There's no other options.
You say you didn't like Cowboy Bebop.
That's right. That's right. It's always correct.
I will fight you.
I heard my words. Do I have it on here, by the way? Do I have it on here? I don't have it on here. Oh, you know what? It's in my stalled section. Because I never fully committed to like dropping it, because I was like, I will watch it. And I was like, every time I think about it, I'm like, it's just Space Cowboys.
It's not even that long, man.
You know what the worst part is I got 17 episodes in. I could have just finished it. I could have just wrapped it up.
You're literally at the part where plot happens, and you're just like, I'm done with this. Like the plot goes, and then it ends, and the show is amazing. Oh my goodness. Well, whatever. It is what it is.
Hey, if it makes you feeling better, it didn't make it to the drop list. It made it to the I'll watch it later list.
I don't want no consolation prize.
Some of these I stopped watching like forever ago. Have you heard of one called Black Cat?
Yes. Wait, I'm trying to think if it's the anime I'm thinking of.
My friend showed me 5 episodes, and I only watched 5 episodes because they literally sat me down and watched it with me. And I was like, you know what? That's cool. I like that one. And then I was like, I don't know where it's at, because she had it on like specifically DVDs. And I was like, okay, I got to find it. So I put it on my stalled list and then just forgot about it.
I did watch Black Cat. I dropped that shit. I did not.
How dare you? I'm just kidding. I don't even remember anything about it other than.
Me neither. So I remember watching it. Yes, it was the thief guy with the special gun. I just pulled up an image of it with the girl with the blonde hair. I mean, it's fine. I think it's like, okay. So when I was younger, I used to watch a ton of anime, right? That anime feels like the most mid-aughts anime you ever seen. Just like, oh, dude, what is that anime with the guy? He has like the mask. What is it? It's kind of black.
I need a little bit more detail.
Darker than black.
Oh, Dark and Black was sick, dude.
Darker than Black was awesome. So Darker Than Black feels like a better version of that. Like it's just those animes that had that like mid 2000s vibe, like Get Backers or Darker Than Black or what's that Blood Sea, like those kind of anime that kind of all came around the time when Toonami was big. So when I was watching Black Cat, I was just like, that just feels like more of that, and I just didn't get into it, so I dropped it. Is it good? Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments below, and maybe I'll watch and give you guys a review, a crow exclusive review of Black Cat, because I got free time to watch old animated nobody care about.
Yeah, so we also, you mentioned Ranking Kings was made by Mappa, right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
Mappa, as you all have heard, made their own anime, Zenshu. Let's talk about Zenshu for a second.
Okay, let's get a Zenshu update.
I don't know what the plan is here. I don't get it, because it's like every time they finally, on the plus side, they finally did something slightly different, and it's still just like mid at best right now. They did one scene where the main character, like, you saw the PV trailer where she goes like, she has like the cool magic eyes, the glowy background, she like zooms around the desk and then like draws on the paper. Yeah. They reuse that every single episode.
Okay, still
exactly the same. Exactly the same. There's no writing on the paper, so they can reuse her flipping the pages too. So they reused that exact scene, and they blow up the cutscene part of it the whole time, and they do the entire thing, and then she just summons this crazy strong thing, and I was like, that okay, like that's cool. Like you literally just spawn a desk and then you draw the victory. Like that's cool, I guess. And then finally they were just like, okay, but what if we just didn't draw the victory? So they did the cool cutscene thing, and then she drew a thing, and then that thing lost. And I was like, oh, okay. So she's not like, you have to get it right the first time. And then her little like pen thing was like, you have to draw again. And she's like, yeah, I know. What do I draw? And then they just leave. And I was like, they did have the kind of a funny scene though, where like one of the old heroes from like back before she was reincarnated into this weird world is unable to fly until she, for some reason, comes up to this like ending scene where they're all about to lose, and then she can suddenly fly, albeit a little, like she is, you know, wobbly, but they made it sound like she couldn't at all. And then she's just like, okay, but what if I flew up the side of a mountain carrying a desk? And you're like, I don't feel like you should be able to do that. If she had picked the desk up and started walking or started running, I'd have been like, all right, fair. But she started flying, and I was like, that, you can't. I don't understand. So Zenshu it looks good. I'll give it that. It looks good. A lot of it is clearly reused. Like they're reusing poses and positions and cutscenes, and a lot of it is clearly reused. But it looks good. The story is like probably 5, maybe a 6 right now. It's like basic, really standard. It doesn't do anything like unique so far, other than, actually, I don't even think the drawing thing is new. I'm pretty sure that's pretty old.
No,
getting reincarnated into a failing anime world is relatively different, but it's like, why?
Yeah, it's like, it's unique and it's different. Like no other show really does that, but it's like, it's not interesting really, unless you like make it interesting.
So they're like, she is like interacting with the world, so the world is now performing differently than the show was when it was terrible. And but at the same time, now it's like the main character that was in that show is falling for a character that isn't in the world. So I'm like, I don't like all of the directions that it's like. It's taking the characters that were designed to intermingle, separating them, and then like tying them to various random things. One of the characters that was in the failing anime story supposed to fall for the main character of the failing story when the actual main character, like the girl, when she does one of her drawings, the like failing anime's female MC gets obsessed with the drawing, abandons the love triangle or the love relationship, and then starts an orphanage. In the name of this, like, his name is Servo Tiger, and he was just a tiger wrestler. He was basically not Embor.
King from Tekken.
No, oh well, I don't know. I don't play Tekken. I don't know.
You loser.
I'm thinking of a Pokemon. He looks just like the freaking Pokemon. Incineroar, I think his name is Incineroar. He looks just like him, but except for he's like a little bit more orange. And so now this, like, what was previously a ditzy love interest is now a like gung ho mask, like lucha libre mask wearing girl is starting an orphanage. And
she
like
took the Kazuma Kiryu route.
When you watch it, you're like, I understand the sequence of events that happened, but that's not how that's not how that normally goes. I don't think. Like, I guess that could happen. That's not what I would think would happen, but okay, if a superhero in front of me suddenly drew a picture, and it was the funny thing about the drawings is they don't match the art of the world. They're all still like 2D, unshaded and stuff. So they're like, you have the vibrant world of whatever they animated, and then the drawing that she does is like white. It's like Paper Mario uncolored. And I was like, yeah, I was like,
the chalk.
Yeah, chalk zone. That's kind of what it is. Is like she just draws this like white image, and the like design of it is good, but it's basically either lightly or uncolored. And if the superhero just drew an uncolored thing in front of me, I don't think I would know anybody that would just be like so into it that they're like, yeah, I'm gonna name my entire orphanage and being after it, and then switch from being like a love interest to being a luchador. Like, it's so random. But hey, man, like some people probably like it. More power to you, I guess. I'm not tracking it very well, which could very well be part of my issue. But I just think that probably could have done without doing this. They probably could have just taken a break.
You had me at luchador. I'm watching Zenshu now. No, I'm not. I'm not even gonna lie. I am not watching that. I mean, I love Mappa. They're amazing. It feels like the most tax write-off anime from what I hear. It just feels like a whole lot of nothing. But they're very talented, so it looks very good. But anytime I hear anybody talk about Zenshu, it's never in a positive light. So I haven't even looked at it outside of the poster. That's about it.
I think the whole thing can be summarized as almost really good, because it sits right there. Like when you're watching it, you feel like it should be good as you watch it, and then like the more you watch it, the like farther from that fantasy you like get pulled, and then you start the next episode, and then you're kind of like back into it. You're getting like slingshotted back into it, because each time they do something a little bit more random, a little bit dumber, a little bit something else that doesn't track, like the dragon flying. They structured the dragon chick to be like some kind of slums sex worker, and they like talk about it like she is, and then like you never really see that, and then she just kind of doesn't ever, and then she can fly, and you're like, but you're here because you can't. So
dude, you keep bringing in new elements of the show. I'm just like, what is going on? What is happening right now?
To be fair, I am jumping around a bunch. It's like, so it is in sequence. It is, they meet the dragon in the slums, and then she explains to, well, she doesn't explain to the main character, but the main character knows because she like watched the Real World anime. So she is aware that the dragon can't fly, and she is specifically in the slums because she didn't want to tell the other warriors that she was no longer able to fly. So they thought, all of the other 9 soldiers thought that she just left. And so they all hated her for abandoning her post or whatever. And then she was like, I'm fine with that. It's whatever. And so she's down here in the slums, unable to fly. And then they go through like the whole orphanage thing. They get the children out of the slums to the orphanage, And from that, they go back to meet the graves of the other 9 soldiers that have fallen in battle, and the dragon and the failing anime's main character, he meets with her, and I was like, okay, great. This is when she's gonna finally reveal that she can't actually fly. And on her wing, the entire time, half of it is black and charred off. Like, it's not subtle. Like, you can see it. And like, they don't bring it up. Like, she is just a drunk at this point, and she literally just carries a gourd around, and after every sentence just chugs half the gourd. And like, her situation, I understand how she got there, but one, how do you not notice half of the red dragon wing being black? That wasn't always like that, and it's not like she's a stranger, you know. So there's that. And then it's like, the reason that she doesn't tell them is because she is okay with them hating her, and I'm like, okay, but why? So,
yeah, she's
like, her argument,
case of the bad writing.
her argument was that she didn't want to tell Luke, who is the failing anime's main character. She didn't want to tell Luke because she didn't want it to feel like it was his fault. And I was like, that's dumb. That's stupid. No, like, in any scenario in the fight that they do show where she loses the ability to fly, they could tell that something happened. And you could just be like, yo, Voidborn got me, bro. I'm down for the count. And like, I don't think he would be like, oh, I'm not strong enough. Oh, you know what? He might have been like, I'm not strong enough. But at the same time, forget about that. So
yeah, he'll get over it. Your wing all fucked up.
Yeah, so like, they have that conversation, and then they start having to fight this like super void that was like immune to a lot of types of damage. So like, they couldn't just get rid of it. And the main character, the main character, which I would say her name, but I can't remember it. She ends up drawing. Yeah, no. she starts drawing like stairs around the mountain so that Luke could get up to the top to fight the void thing. And she's like, I can't see the stairs, or I can't see where the stairs go because it's a mountain. And so suddenly this dragon starts to fly, and you're like, but you kind of, I don't understand.
Like, what was the point of all this? What was the point of you being ashamed and be like, I want them to hate me because I can't fly anymore, and they think I
like, she
deserted
stumbles
them
and whatever, but
them.
it's like you can. It would be so easy to just like put a fucking leather cover over it or something to like simulate a wing. Like, they did it in How to Train Your Dragon. Like, gave Toothless half a tail. It could have done something like that, but there's a reason why that anime was failing to begin with, I guess. So, but yeah,
dude,
so
it's how meta is it that it's a anime, like a mediocre anime about a bad anime?
The main character specifically brings up potential deaths all the time. And she just, like, for the most part, she just tells everyone, she's like, hey, we're about to get jumped. And most of the time they're like, you're crazy, which is, you know, fair, because like, how would she know? And then she just like keeps doing it, and then it keeps happening. At some point it starts to go out of order, but she can still identify it, and that she does it all the time. She leaves out like the crucial stuff. Like in the real world anime version of it, the like little unicorn dude dies really early, and she saves him, so he is now a part of a story that he wasn't a part of before. And then like the luchador chick, she fell in love with the main character, and they got, because she drew the servo tiger, she no longer falls for the main character dude, so now she is on her own path. And so the story is divulging from the failure with each episode, so that's why it kind of feels like you're almost at really good, because everything that made it kind of sucky is like being corrected, but they're still giving you the sucky part. So you're like, this part sucks, and I get to see why it sucks, and then they get rid of it, and you're like, I didn't really need to see. I guess I did need to see that, but like, it's not interesting for the most part.
Yeah.
After the first one was like god mode and she nuked an entire army, and then you're like, oh, huge. And then the second one was like, I think Servo Tiger was the second one, and you're like, okay, so you went from universal annihilating god to wrestling tiger. Okay,
the power of creativity.
yeah. So definitely like, it's definitely like a 6 out of 10. Maybe if I was to do it out of 5, probably like a 3.5, 3.5 out of 10 of 5. Like, it's not bad.
Like,
it's not the worst thing ever. If you're just like, hey man, I kind of want to watch something that is an isekai but is like a little different than normal, it's probably good. It's probably fine. It'll suit your fancy, I suppose.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, how do you feel about that? Because I feel like having a 5 out of 10 is way worse than having a 0 out of or 1 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather something be bad than something just be standard, run of the mill, like mediocre, not interesting. You know what I mean? I feel like that's worse.
I do almost want it. Like, if you're going to be bad, just like commit to being bad. You know, just like let me know so I don't have to like keep watching. I'm like, I am 6 episodes into Zenshu. And I'm like, I'm still not fully sold on it, but I don't fully believe that it's garbage either. So I'm like,
is the animation like really, really good though?
Even absolutely.
In spite of the reused animation.
Yeah, aside from them reusing the things, what they do is still good. So like there is no like really noticeable like choppy moments where they like skip frames. The characters are pretty well drawn. They do look like, and it makes sense that they look like this. They do look like they were more of a, like, I don't even know how to describe it. They're like the bubbly type of animation where they're like rounded on all their edges. So like they have the hair that is like rounded at the bottom, or like they're like they don't have any sharp points on their body despite like, wearing armor or anything.
Wait, so the characters are in like the animation style. Then how does the main character look? Does she look like she's in a different art style?
She is also still like, she is like our version of animated, but the animated series people, they look like the animated version of their anime. So they're like, so they look like a slightly more animated, like motion wise, they act the same, but art style wise, they are ever so slightly different, I think. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but if you look up Luke, he feels a lot softer than like she does.
So you're telling me that Zenshu is the Japanese version of Kappa Mikey?
Kappa Mikey? That sounds so familiar.
Did you never watch Kappa Mikey? Okay, so I don't know why they brought that up. So Kappa Mikey was a Nickelodeon cartoon where the whole premise is the main character is like an American animated character in Japan. So he's like thick outline American cartoon character.
Okay, it's not that like world. It's not that like obvious, but yeah, kinda.
The anime is like, because it's done by like, I believe, an American studio. It's the anime from like How to Draw Anime, like books that you would see like a Barnes and Noble, stuff
actually,
like that.
You know what?
Like,
I'm pretty sure that anime was like supposed to be an American cartoon.
Really?
I think. Don't quote me on that.
Dude, Kappa Mikey. The premise I was sold on as a kid, it was not great. I was like, this is such a cool.
I think I watched like one episode of it when I was a kid, and I don't really remember much about it. But yeah.
Oh boy, Kappa Mikey premises will never work. But Chalk Zone,
but it was. Chalk Zone was awesome. But I mean, like it's
Rosie O'Donnell.
I think the concept is like still good. It's just like the people that get to do it are the ones that are just like off the mark a little bit, and it's like they're really committed to that aspect. But yeah, like I said, Zenshu is like, it's definitely not bad. It's just got like, you have to kind of let go of Mappa's reputation, where you're like, yeah, they're like a god, because while they do animate it really well, they are also the story writers for this one, and story writing is apparently not their forte, to say the least. But if you can move past that, and like it's kind of just like you have fun with it kind of deal. Like a lot of it gets lost in like just as it's going, you're just like, all right, whatever. But if you can't let that go, then probably don't watch it, because that happens a lot. You're like the most egregious one is the Servo Tiger thing, where the girl is just like changes her hair, her entire appearance, her attitude, her everything changes after meeting this drawing. And I was like, okay, buddy.
Sounds like a good plot to me. But actually, I was going to try to segue over. It's like, well, in better writing news, because we talked about it last week, I actually sat down and I read the first chapter of Marshall King.
We got to read it together. That was fun.
We read Marshall King together. So I finished the first chapter of Marshall King. I wanted to talk about it a little bit since we did bring it up on the last podcast, because it's, if you guys are just hopping in, it's a brand new manga written and drawn by Bochi, who drew Dr. Stone, as well as Sunken Rock. Well, I will always rep and shout out because I love Sunken Rock. Read it. It's a manhwa. It's fantastic. It's crazy, but I love the art style, right? And that's the first thing that's very evident when you read Marshall King. It's like that art style still holds true. It looks so good, dude. The double page spread of the main character, whose name is Jim Godspeed. The name is incredibly stupid, but I kind of like it. I want to see him pay his name off, see what his namesake is all about. Is he just the fastest quick draw in the West? We shall see. To be determined.
I don't even believe that's his last name. I feel like he's just inheriting a moniker at that point. Because he got it from his dad, M. Godspeed, and it's like. He was the biggest, baddest dude in the West. Bison.
Yeah, like it's really goofy, and the first chapter is a lot of exposition and plot dumping. Which, I mean, I get it. If you know anything about Shonen Jump, man, it's very cutthroat. Your series has to come out, it has to bang, or they're gonna cancel you. They will. They're gonna give you a lot of shots. It's one of the things I was actually very surprised about, because I feel like ever since we got the Shonen Jump app, I've been more aware of newer manga dropping, right? Because you're going there, you see like new, it'd be like chapter 1. So I started reading Rudy Dragon when it came out, as well as Undead Unluck, and I was checking them out. And then you would read a new manga, and then I'm like, oh, this is actually interesting. I can't wait to see where it goes. And then it's just done. Red Riding Hood was also like that as well. That came out. I was really enjoying it. It was from like a production assistant for Horikoshi for My Hero. So the art style was kind of like My Hero, but it was also like a little bit gritty. It was like Western fairy tales. It was really good, like werewolves and Little Red Riding Hood and Old Grandma and stuff like that. I thought I was having a lot of fun. And then it just ends. They dump all the like story plot stuff like at the end. So it's just like,
does it get canceled or does it just stop?
It got canceled. So it got canceled, but then they wrapped up the story. So they threw like literally everything into the last couple of chapters. And I'm just like, this all sounds interesting. And they just wrap it up and it ends. And I'm just like, this sucks.
No, you're so close. If only you could have foreshadowed this a little better.
Yeah, like they literally just, it felt like they were just like, I had the ending in mind. I was writing it, and then they're like, you're canceled. And they were like, I'm just gonna throw the ending that's supposed to be like 50 chapters into 3. And then they just ended the manga. And I was just like, that was so much. What is going on?
That's kind of how it felt at the end of Samurai 8, where it was like a lot of the stuff was potentially cool. And then like the mentor mentions a bunch of cool potential things. And then they're just like, Spirit, it's over. And you're like, huh?
Yeah, so Shonen Jump is incredibly like rough. So when I'm reading something like Marshall King, and the first chapter does dump a lot of plot and exposition, I'm just like, all right, they're doing it to try to grip the viewers in, to be like, hey, there's a lot of cool stuff coming on down the line. And I'm really sold on the art style 100%, because it looks amazing. There's something about his art style that just drips and oozes like charisma. Because there's one panel, there's a double page spread that I really pointed out where Jim is standing on the lid of the coffin and the sun is shining, and there's little accents of color in the manga. I don't know if they're going to keep that going
That was
long-term.
pretty cool. I don't know if I've ever seen that before in anime. Some other people mentioned that they like it when that happens, and I was like, I don't know when that happens. That's
Dragon
the first
Ball
time
does that, actually. If you read the Dragon Ball manga, Toriyama accents certain panels with color. Shut up. Respect the GOAT Toriyama. He did it first. But no, so Marshall King, I love it because you see it early on with his father, M. Godspeed. When he looks back, his eye is colored. Everything else is black and white, the standard manga stuff, but his eye's colored. I was like, ooh, a nice little pop, nice little accent of color is nice. And then the one double page spread of him standing on the coffin as the sun's like rising in the background, and the like deputy, the sheriff, is just like staring at him on the ground. It looks awesome. It reminds me of the moment in My Hero when Deku's on like the refrigerator yelling to the sky after he cleaned the beach.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how that looks in the manga. That's one of my favorite moments for My Hero. Just him screaming as All Might walks up to him and just like, he did it. And he's just like, ah, like so cool. So Jim like dehydrated, hasn't eaten in however many days, and he just looks garbage. He's butt naked, just standing on top of the lid. It looks cool. It looks cool, and that's the thing that I really like so far about Marshall King is that it's just cool. Like it just makes everything
This is
look awesome.
definitely going to be. I read it because it's fun.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Like the story, the story is really simple. It is really simple and straightforward.
Okay.
But it is going to be
spoilers.
fun.
Yeah, minor spoilers for Marshall King. But it literally starts off his dad. You see his father, M. Godspeed, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm on this job with you, ne'er-do-well outlaw man. Pay me my money, and I'll help you stop this train." And the guy's like, "All right, we'll pay you as long as we get our cut from the spoils." And, they're like ne'er-do-wells, we go try to do like this train robbery, typical, cowboy, Wild West stuff. But then you see the art, and it's literally Godspeed on the train tracks, and the train is like as big as a skyscraper, and he's small, just standing on the rail. And I'm like, what is up the scale? Why is he fighting this ginormous train? What is going to happen? And he's like, "I'm the greatest outlaw that ever lived. I'm going to stop this train for you, and we're going to get this money." And then the train turns into a bunch of guns, and I'm like, what is going on? What? But it looks so cool. And then it's just like, well, how is he going to get out of this? And then it just cuts. And then they start talking about other stuff and plot. I'm just like,
and suddenly we find out about Jim Godspeed immediately after that. Like, that was M. Godspeed, the wickedest, most baddest desperado in the West. Yeah. And then the train turns into a bunch of Gatling guns. And okay, well, now we're gonna follow the sun. So,
dude, I was like, it was like narrative whiplash.
You didn't even need to tell me about him, really. So, like, yeah, you could have just explained that to me.
Yeah, he was the measuring stick. He's the measuring stick, I guess. But the artwork is really cool. It's a lot of fun, but it's very stupid, dude. It like the introduction is typical Bochi style, is where it's like, the character's like, oh, he looks really cool, but then he's very goofy. So like imagine Senku when he's having like a freak out, or Ken, if you read Sun Ken Rock, where he's just like, oh, he's like this cool mafia boss leader, but he's really like a fucking idiot being used by a bunch of people. So it starts you off and you meet Jim and you kind of get an understanding of his character. His whole thing is that he wants to be the Hokage, the Pirate King, the U.S. Marshal, the U.S. Marshal. So he wants to join into this U.S. Marshal training school to become the ultimate marshal. We don't know why exactly. One of the current sheriff, he speculates like, oh, you want to be, to get all this money and become a U.S. Marshal. And then Jim says, he's like, believe whatever you want. I don't care. I just want to go to the school, become a marshal, become the greatest like sheriff that ever lived, I guess. So I guess we'll see, again, nice little tease, little breadcrumbs of what's to come in the future. To see him become the ultimate, fast shooting desperado dealing with gun of the West, I guess. I don't know. I'm sold so far. I don't think it's like the best thing ever. I don't think it's like, oh, peak manga, you gotta read this.
I think at this point Dr. Stone's still better.
Yeah,
at this point I read chapter 2 and I will say it stays stupid but is still fun.
Yes. So I'm always down for a fun time. The art style, in my personal opinion, is worth the admission. I'm really excited to see where it goes. It's always fun getting in on the ground floor with a new project, a new manga, a new anime, anything like that. So we'll see where it goes. Will it reach the heights of a Dr. Stone or a Karagura Bachi or a Ruri Dragon or a Demon Slayer? We shall see. But we can all get in together and be reading it weekly and be a part of the conversation. Again, it's sad because we don't have anime or manga like JJK anymore. My Hero is gone. So I feel like Shonen Jump, they're really trying to find like what's going to be the new bangers. What's going to be that new generation to carry the baton that those shows passing on, essentially, because JJK was huge, Demon Slayer huge, My Hero huge, Promised Neverland not so much, but those are gone now.
It could have been. It could have been.
Dude, it could have been. It makes me so mad, but we shall see where the Marshall King goes. It's not doing anything too crazy new. We're still in the world setup and world building part of the manga. But I'm excited, man, and it looks awesome. When he pulls out the gun from the coffin and you see like this realistic detailed like pistol, that's not like it's not a revolver. He doesn't have like a wicked wild west revolver. He pulls out like a millimeter. I'm just like, what is going on? So I'm excited to understand more about the world, why they're in the Wild West, but seemingly in the future. But also they have like trains, but the trains can turn into giant Gundam cannon guns.
It's like if the Wild West was like had advanced technology.
Yeah, it's nuts. But it looks gorgeous, and those double page spreads are to die for. So I would highly recommend at least checking it out. If you have $2 or $2.99 and you have the Shonen Jump app, give Marshall King a check out and let us know what you think of the Marshall King in the comments below. Let us know how you've been in, or if you read it, if you enjoy it, what anime you've been watching recently. We were going to talk more about ReZero, but we're going to give ReZero some time to cook. The second part of season 3 just came out. I don't want to spoil anything too early. Also, Vic's got to get caught up, but I want to hear his thoughts on some stuff that happened, some things and some stuff that happened in the season as well. But yeah, let us know how we're doing down there. Join the conversation and tell us what manga you've been reading. Is there anything that we should be picking up? Let us know. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, the 45th episode of DNAnime Podcast. We will be back next week. But if you guys want to help support your boys, hit that subscribe button. Hit the little thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. Keep up to date with the podcast. We're coming out every week with bangers. And if you hear me get on my soapbox and talk about Dragon Ball, I'll do that every week for you. But hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next week for another one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.